The story of Thạch and Lý Thông is very old. It comes from Vietnam. People have told this story for many, many years. It is a legend that lives on. It speaks to the heart of every generation. The tale is simple, yet its message is deep. It tells of good and evil. It shows us courage and betrayal. This story is like a clear river reflecting the sky. It shows us what it means to be truly human, to fight for what is right, and to believe in justice even when darkness seems to prevail. The main hero is Thạch. He is a young man, he is strong and kind, he grew up with hardship, but his spirit was never broken. He faced great dangers, he met terrible monsters, yet he always chose the path of goodness. Thạch represents the best in us. He shows us that true strength comes from a pure heart. His adventures are exciting. But more than that, they teach us important lessons about life, about how to live with honor and compassion in a world that is not always fair. This tale is not just an adventure, it is a mirror. It reflects the struggles we all face. We see the fight between honesty and lies. We see the pain of betrayal. We see the hope for fairness. The story asks us important questions. What does it mean to be brave? What is the price of deceit? How do we keep our hearts good in a difficult world? These questions are timeless. They are as important today as they were long ago when the story was first told by flickering firelight. The enduring appeal of Thac's journey lies in its universal themes. It speaks of the hope that goodness will ultimately triumph. It reminds us that even the humblest person can possess immense courage. The story flows through time, like a resilient bamboo shoot pushing through hard soil. It continues to inspire. It encourages us to look for the Thach within ourselves. It urges us to stand firm against the Lý Thongs we might encounter, holding on to our integrity and our belief in a just world. Thach did not have an easy start in life. He was an orphan. His parents died when he was very young. He lived alone in a simple hut. This hut was at the foot of a large, ancient tree. He had to find his own food. He had to look after himself. The forest was his home. The birds and animals were his companions. Life was often a struggle. Each day brought new challenges for survival. He learned to be resourceful and strong from a very young age, taught by the harsh lessons of nature. Despite his loneliness, Thach grew up to be a good person. He had a kind heart. He was honest in all his dealings. He worked hard cutting firewood. He would carry the heavy wood to the market. He earned very little money, but he never complained. He accepted his fate with quiet dignity. The forest taught him patience. The quiet rustling of leaves and the songs of wild birds were his daily solace. His spirit remained as clear and untainted as a mountain spring, reflecting the simple beauty of his surroundings. His strength was not just in his body, it was in his character. He was not afraid of hard work. He faced difficulties with a brave spirit. He did not have much, but he was content with what he had. He did not envy others. He did not wish for things he could not obtain through honest labor. His world was small, but his heart was large. He found companionship in the rustling leaves and the whispering wind. The solitude of the forest shaped him, making him reflective and deeply connected to the natural world around him. His early life was a testament to resilience. It showed that goodness can blossom even in the poorest soil. Thach was like a sturdy tree growing on a rocky cliff. He faced the wind and the rain. Yet he stood tall, his roots grew deep. This foundation of hardship and integrity would serve him well. It prepared him for the many trials that lay ahead. His difficult youth forged an inner strength that material wealth could never bestow, a quiet power that would later astound kings and confound villains. One day, a new person came into Thach's simple life. This person was Lý Thông. Lý Thông was very different from Thach. He was not an orphan from the forest, he was a merchant. He seemed friendly on the outside, he spoke with smooth words, but his heart was not good. He was cunning and selfish. He was always looking for ways to benefit himself, even if it meant harming others. His arrival marked a turning point in Thach's otherwise solitary and straightforward existence, bringing with it complexities Thach had never known. Lý Thông saw Thach. He saw how strong and naive Thach was. Lý Thông had a clever idea. He decided to trick Thạch. He pretended to be kind. He offered to become sworn brothers with Thạch. He said they would help each other. Thạch, with his trusting nature, believed him. Thạch was happy to have a brother. He did not see the deceit hidden behind Lý Tong's smile. He welcomed Lý Thông into his life with an open heart, unaware of the darkness that lurked within this newfound companion. Lý Tong's motives were purely selfish. He wanted to use Thạch. He saw Thac's strength and bravery. He planned to use these qualities for his own gain. He did not care about Thac's well-being. He only cared about himself. This was the beginning of much sorrow for Thạch. The simple world of the forest hero was about to be invaded by calculated treachery. Lý Thông was like a creeping vine, slowly entwining himself around Thạch, planning to drain his vitality for his own growth. The contrast between the two characters is stark. Thạch was all honesty and hard work. Lý Thông was all deceit and manipulation. Thạch lived by the simple rules of nature and fairness. Lý Thông lived by the rules of greed and opportunism. This meeting was a clash of two different worlds. It was a clash of light and shadow. The genuine warmth of Thac's spirit met the cold calculation of Lý Tong's ambition. This unfortunate brotherhood set the stage for a series of trials that would test Thach to his very core. Soon Lý Thông put his evil plans into action. There was a terrible serpent monster. It lived near the village. Every year, the village had to offer a human sacrifice to the serpent. This was to keep the serpent from destroying their homes. Lý Thông was chosen by lot to be the next sacrifice. He was terrified. He did not want to die. He thought of Thach. He saw a way to escape his terrible fate. He decided to trick his sworn brother into facing this deadly peril in his place. Lý Thông went to Thach. He pretended to be very sad. He told Thach that it was his duty to guard the village temple that night. He did not tell Thach about the serpent. Thach, being loyal and brave, agreed. He did not suspect any trick. He went to the temple, ready to do his duty. He was unaware that Lý Thông had sent him to his death. His innocence and readiness to help were qualities Lý Thông cruelly exploited. Thach prepared himself for a night of vigil, not a battle against a monstrous beast. That night the giant serpent appeared. It was a fearsome creature, with scales like armor and eyes like burning coals. Thach was not afraid. He fought the serpent with all his might. He used his wood-cutting axe. The battle was long and fierce. Finally, with great courage and strength, Thach killed the monster. He cut off its head and took its magical loot. He returned, tired but victorious, expecting to share the good news with his brother, completely unaware of the depth of Lý Tong's betrayal. When Thach told Lý Thông what had happened, Lý Thông was secretly pleased, but outwardly cunning. He told Thach that the serpent was the king's sacred pet. He said the king would be furious and would execute Thach. He urged Thach to flee into the forest and hide. Then Lý Thông took the serpent's head. He went to the king. He claimed that he was the one who killed the serpent. The king believed him. Lý Thông was rewarded. He became a hero, while the true hero, Thach, was forced into hiding, a victim of cruel deceit. Section 5. Courage Takes Flight, the Eagle and the Princess. Thach lived in hiding in the forest. He felt sad and confused. He did not understand why his brother had betrayed him. But he did not lose his spirit. He continued to live his simple life. He practiced his archery. He played the magical lute he had taken from the serpent. The music of the lute was beautiful. It could soothe wild animals. It could even make trees sway. This lute became his companion in solitude, a reminder of his strange destiny and the magical world that sometimes intersected his own. Meanwhile, a new terror plagued the kingdom. A giant eagle, a monstrous bird of prey, appeared. This eagle swooped down from the sky. It snatched the king's beloved daughter, Princess Queen Nga. The entire kingdom was in despair. The king was heartbroken. He offered a great reward to anyone who could rescue his daughter. Many brave warriors tried, but none could defeat the fearsome eagle. The eagle's nest was high on a treacherous mountain, a place seemingly beyond human reach, adding to the sense of hopelessness. Thạch heard about the princess's plight. He saw the eagle flying overhead one day. With his keen eyes, he marked where its nest was located. His heart was filled with courage and compassion. He decided he must try to save her. He took his bow and arrows. He began the dangerous climb up the mountain. He was not thinking of rewards, he was thinking of the princess's fear. He was thinking of the king's sorrow. His natural heroism urged him forward, driven by a pure desire to help those in distress. Using his incredible archery skills, Thạch shot the eagle. He injured its wing. He then climbed to its nest. He fought the wounded but still dangerous bird. He rescued Princess Queen Nga. He brought her down from the mountain. He returned her safely to the palace. The king was overjoyed. But before Thạch could be recognized, Lý Thông appeared again. Once more, the deceitful brother stepped forward to steal Thach's glory. He quickly took credit for the daring rescue, pushing Thach back into the shadows. Section 6. Darkness and Deceit. The Weight of Injustice. Lý Thong's treachery knew no bounds. After Thach rescued Princess Queen Nga, Lý Thông quickly imprisoned the true hero. He locked Thach in a dark dungeon. Lý Thông then presented himself to the king. He claimed he was the one who had bravely fought the eagle and saved the princess. The king, unaware of the truth, believed Lý Thông again. He showered Lý Thông with honors and riches. Lý Thông rose to a high position in the court. He enjoyed fame and fortune built on lies and the suffering of his sworn brother. In the darkness of the prison, Thach felt a deep sense of injustice. He had risked his life twice for the good of others. Both times, his efforts were stolen by the man he called brother. He was alone. He was forgotten. Yet even in this dark place, Thach did not despair completely. He had his magical lute. He began to play it. The music flowed from the dungeon. It was a sad and haunting melody. It spoke of his sorrow. It spoke of the truth. The notes carried his pain and his unwavering integrity. The Princess Queen Nga had been deeply traumatized by her capture. After her rescue, she fell into a strange silence. She would not speak. No doctor could cure her. The king was worried. The whole palace was gloomy. Then one day, the faint sound of Thach's lute reached the princess's ears. The music was strangely familiar. It stirred something deep within her memory. It was the sound she had heard faintly when she was in the eagle's nest, a sound of hope in her darkest hour. The music of the lute grew stronger. It seemed to call to her. It was a voice of truth in a world of deceit. The princess began to listen intently. The melody was filled with such honesty and pain. It was so different from the boastful claims of Lý Thông. She felt a connection to the unseen musician. The lute's song was a gentle key, slowly unlocking the prison of her silence. It promised to reveal the true story of her rescue, a story that Lý Thông had tried so desperately to suppress. Section 7. The Lute of Truth, Justice finds its voice. The magical lute played on. Its melodies drifted through the palace walls. It finally reached the ears of the king. The king was intrigued by the beautiful, sorrowful music. He asked where it was coming from. His guards told him it came from the prison. They said it was a young man named Thach playing it. Princess Queen Nga, upon hearing the name and the music more clearly, suddenly spoke. She told her father that the music was from her true rescuer. She recognized the tune that had given her hope. The king was astonished. He ordered Thach to be brought before him. Thach came from the dungeon, humble but dignified. He told his story. He told of the serpent. He told of the eagle. He told of Lý Thong's repeated betrayals. The magical lute seemed to confirm his words. Its presence resonated with truth. Lý Thông was also summoned. He tried to lie again, but this time his words sounded hollow against the backdrop of Thaksan's sincerity and the princess's testimony. The web of deceit was beginning to unravel. The truth, once hidden, now shone brightly. The courtiers and the king finally saw Lý Thông for who he truly was, a coward and a cheat. They saw Thaksan's bravery and honesty. Justice, long delayed, was finally at hand. Lý Thông was stripped of all his honors. His crimes were laid bare for all to see. The king was filled with regret for being deceived. He was filled with admiration for Thaksan's noble character. The power of truth, amplified by the magical lute and the princess's voice, had broken through the walls of lies. Lý Thông and his mother, who had encouraged his deceit, were brought to justice. They were to be exiled for their wicked deeds. As they were leaving, a storm arose, and they were struck by lightning, a divine punishment for their relentless evil. Thaksan, however, showed his true nature. He did not seek revenge. He was offered riches and power. The king even offered him the princess's hand in marriage. Thaksan's journey from the dark prison to the royal court was complete, a testament to his enduring spirit and the ultimate triumph of good. Section 8. The Noble Heart. Thaksan's enduring virtues. Thaksan's character shines with many beautiful qualities. His bravery is undeniable. He faced a giant serpent. He fought a monstrous eagle. He did these things without hesitation. He did not fear death when protecting others. This courage was not for show. It came from a deep sense of duty. It came from a pure heart that could not stand by and watch others suffer. His strength was not just physical, it was a moral fortitude that faced down terrifying odds for the sake of righteousness and compassion. His honesty is another remarkable trait. Even when Lý Thông betrayed him, Thaksan did not become bitter and deceitful himself. He spoke the truth when he was finally given the chance. He lived by a simple code of honor. He never claimed what was not his. He never sought rewards for his good deeds. This unwavering integrity, even in the face of profound injustice, is a powerful lesson. It teaches us the enduring value of being true to oneself, regardless of the circumstances or the temptations to do otherwise. Thaksan also showed great patriotism and a desire for peace. When a foreign army threatened the kingdom, Thaksan did not use violence. He used his magical lute and a never-ending pot of rice. The beautiful music disarmed the enemy soldiers. The magical rice fed their entire army. They were so impressed by his wisdom and generosity that they retreated peacefully. This shows that true strength can also lie in compassion and peaceful solutions. He valued the lives of all, even his enemies, seeking harmony over conflict. Furthermore, Thaksan's capacity for forgiveness is profound. Despite all the wrongs Lý Thông committed against him, Thaksan did not demand harsh punishment for his former sworn brother beyond what the law decreed. He was focused on justice, not personal vengeance. He chose the path of magnanimity. This ability to forgive, to rise above the desire for revenge, elevates Thaksan to an even higher moral standing. It shows a largeness of spirit that is truly inspiring, a beacon of how to handle betrayal with grace and maintain one's own purity. Section 9. Lessons for Generations, the Legacy of Thaksan and Lý Thông. The story of Thaksan and Lý Thông is more than just an ancient folk tale. It is a profound lesson in human values. It teaches us about the unending struggle between good and evil. Thaksan, with his pure heart and brave deeds, represents the light. Lý Thông, with his greed and deceit, represents the darkness. The story reassures us that light will eventually overcome darkness. It shows that justice, though sometimes slow, will prevail. This timeless narrative provides a moral compass for navigating the complexities of human interaction. The tale strongly emphasizes the importance of fairness in society. Lý Thong's actions created imbalance and injustice. Thaksan's suffering was a result of this unfairness. But the story ends with justice restored. This gives us hope. It encourages us to strive for a world where honesty is valued. It inspires us to ensure that deceit is exposed and punished. Do we always stand up for what is fair, even when it is difficult? How can we contribute to a more just society in our own lives, ensuring that merit is recognized and treachery is not rewarded? The story praises the beautiful qualities of Thạch. His courage, his honesty, his loyalty, and his compassion are held up as ideals. These are the virtues that make a person truly noble. These are the qualities that build strong communities. The tale asks us to look within ourselves. Do we try to be like Thạch? Do we value truth and bravery in our own actions? How can we cultivate these noble traits in ourselves and encourage them in others, fostering a culture of integrity and mutual respect? Ultimately, the legend of Thạch and Lý Thông inspires us. It shows the strength of the human spirit. It reminds us that even in the face of great adversity, goodness can endure. It champions the cause of justice and humanity. It asks us, what does it truly mean to be a hero in our everyday lives? How can we ensure that the values of unity, fostered by honesty and mutual trust, triumph over the division caused by deceit and self-interest? The echoes of Thac's lute still call to us, urging us to build a better, fairer world.